Thank you, Cynthia. It's a story we brought to you first last night. While everybody was focused on the PC party, Patrick Brown, and allegations of sexual misconduct, the Ontario Liberal Party was quietly dealing with its own allegations. Allegations that a former Liberal cabinet minister and longtime MPP repeatedly groped and sexually harassed his executive assistant. And Kathleen Wynne's office was told of these allegations 3 weeks ago.
It is never okay to harass or assault, to put people in a position where they are victimized. That is never okay. And it has always been our attempt here to shine a light on those behaviors, to try to be very clear about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
That's Premier Wynne, the day after news of allegations against Patrick Brown broke, and the day before her office received an email detailing allegations against a former Liberal MPP.
The first step in tackling them is to name it, to actually say, this is what happened to me, it made me feel unsafe, and it made me feel like that wasn't a place where I could work.
And that's Wynne on February 13th, the same day a Liberal lawyer finally acknowledged the alleged victim's complaint, a complaint that Wynne's office was quietly handling.
And the first thing she heard back from after writing this, sending this email to the Premier was a communication from the Premier's lawyer. And she felt intimidated, and then she contacted me.
And an email written 19 days after the allegations were lodged with the subject line, Historic MPP Harassment Incident. The lawyer writes, as legal counsel to the Premier and to caucus, your email to the Premier from a couple of weeks ago has been directed to me, and I've been asked to discuss it with you. There was no apology or mention of ongoing investigation, and that's what Nunziata says his client is really after. A third-party investigation.
Each party will have the opportunity to present their position to an unbiased third party, and that as a result of that process, that people will be held accountable.
Today, Wynne acknowledged that her office knew of the allegations weeks ago.
We have a process that when there is an allegation or a complaint, that process is in place. And so first what happens is that there's a review of the information. We engage outside counsel, and if appropriate, we retain the services of a third-party investigator with expertise in these matters.
For her part, Wynne says she did not know about the allegations until very recently.
I did not know about this particular instance, but because there's a process in place, at a relevant point, I would have been informed.
Nunziata says if Wynne didn't know, she should have.
If she didn't know, then those who did know, in my view, ought to be fired immediately.
Now, we asked Wynne's office if a third-party investigation or any investigation has been launched. They refused to answer our questions.